I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to the Resistance. Don't mind me. I'm waiting for the sky to fall. I've been seeing a ton of videos about a rule change the Postmaster General implemented on Christmas Eve. According to the videos I'm seeing, this rule change is part of a nefarious plot by the Trump administration to disqualify a bunch of ballots mailed close to Election Day. That sounds pretty serious. There was something about this that made me want to look closer. I reckon in the grand scheme of things, this would affect a relatively small number of ballots in any given precinct. Probably not enough to impact an election result. So instead of looking for something to get angry about or afraid of, I adjusted my point of view. I looked at it through the lens of curiosity. Excuse me, I got cooties. First, I looked up the actual rule change. If you Google section 608.11, postmarks and postal possession, you'll see what I did. What I found is that it doesn't change anything that hasn't already been true for a long time. It just puts it in writing. It also explains how to make sure you get the correct postmark if the date really matters. Now, I'm not one to trust anything the Trump administration says, or anyone he selects, including the current Postmaster General. So I talked to someone at my local post office, and guess what he told me? He said nothing about how mail gets postmarked is changing, as has been true for many years. Your mail gets postmarked the first time it goes through a sorting machine. Now, if you live in the same city as a processing center, it might be the same day. And if you live where I do, it might take a couple of days. It's also long been true that if you need to guarantee the date, you can take your mail to the counter and ask for it to be hand-stamped. You can also send it certified. So yeah, there really isn't anything to be angry or fearful about with this story. So why do I bring it up? Well, over the past year especially, we've seen an almost total collapse of real journalism in America. It's been going downhill for years, no doubt. But now, between media mergers, Trump lawsuits, and outright capitulation, the fourth estate has all but crumbled. They've stopped asking hard questions. They've stopped telling us what we need to know. They've stopped being the First Amendment accountability tool that our founders gave us. You and I are filling that gap now. You and I are the new fourth estate. And guess what? So is Nick Shirley, some guy who worked with the GOP to make some videos over a year ago about a daycare in Minnesota. There's enough content out there about this that I don't need to rehash it. But I'll point out that these videos about the post office rule change are not that different from what Nick Shirley did. They both start with a kernel of truth. They both fuel fear and outrage. They're both factually wrong. And they're both useful tools for those who would tear down our democracy. Journalism is an institution that we need to defend, and we can't do that if we're going to be like them. We have to be better than them. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't made a few videos here and there with wrong information. I have. But I've corrected them when I found out I was wrong. And it wasn't convenient, but it was necessary. Because if we're not reliable, then we're just noise filling in the silence left by traditional media's leaving. We don't need to fill the gap with noise. We need to fill it in with facts. To do otherwise is to help the bad guys win. For the bad guys to win, the sky doesn't have to actually be falling. People just need to believe that it is. Thanks for listening. Good day.